So, what do you think of being an adventurer? Yev grinned, as though finding their appearance to be amusing, like she was being reminded of her past. Being asked such a question from someone with so much experience made Claire's mind blank. Even if the question was something that would typically be asked, not having prepared an answer made it difficult to address without sounding naive. Abby cleared her throat. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I had taken some smaller jobs, but they pale in terms of unexpected difficulties. Listening to Abby's answer, Bill nodded his head. I had gotten frustrated at only hunting horned rabbits, thinking I needed a challenge. He trailed off, looking at Yev. His face gave away how embarrassed he felt. But then, after taking a harder job, you nearly bit off more than you could chew. Yev laughed, covering her mouth. She gained control over herself. Bill's face turned bright red, seeing the adventurer laughing at his experience. Raising a hand, Yev shook her head, saying, "I'm not laughing at you. Really." Using a finger to brush away some tears from laughing so hard, she said, "It's not like me and other adventurers haven't had similar thoughts when we first started out." She looked to the mines before her eyes focused on the group. If you were to ask others here, I'm sure they'd have similar stories. Even with Yev's comforting words, Bill's face didn't stop looking like a tomato. "So what type of jobs did you take when you first started?" Hannah asked. Raising a hand to her face, she rested her chin on a finger. Based on how long it was taking her to answer, it gave the impression that such a thing was a long time ago. Taking the finger away from her chin, she answered, "I spent a lot of time doing odd jobs." Odd jobs? Mindy tilted her head. Yev looked up at the sky. "I lived in a small village, isolated from larger towns. The Adventurers Guild had a small branch close by, where I eventually joined and became an adventurer. But the problem was the jobs were too difficult, or just various odd jobs. I spent a lot of time gathering herbs." Looking down at them, she laughed. "It's why I can understand your feelings of wanting to do a harder job." After learning more about the adventurer, Claire was surprised to hear such a story. For a second, I imagined this adventurer was an actual person. It makes me wonder whether Star and Moon had already foreseen adventurers like Bill becoming impatient about the jobs they took. Claire thought to herself, feeling amazed that the company was able to think of the adventurers to such a degree. Jumping off from the tower, Yev stood in front of them. The woman was slightly shorter than Abby. Even though there was a height difference, there wasn't a feeling of inferiority, but the complete opposite. Being closer to Yev, Claire felt a sense, the woman being far stronger than she looked. It was easier to see all the wear and tear in the woman's equipment. Each scratch and chip made it feel as though there was a story behind them. "So, do you all think you'll be taking this job again?" Yev asked them. Sensing something behind the adventurer's question, Chris asked, "You make it sound like you expect us to not." Yev nodded her head. "Honestly, for the amount of guild points you receive for this job compared to the danger, it's not a great return for your time. Even if this location doesn't have better jobs, the other nearby cities have jobs that provide a far better return." "We got that too," Abby said to Yev. "But this area is convenient for other purposes. I feel it's better to get stronger before heading to other cities." She looked at Mindy. "I didn't mean to speak for you." Mindy raised her hands, shaking her head. "No, it's probably better if we have a similar mindset." I feel like this job has been great for making us understand how much we still have to go.